Everything has changed, and yet I'm more me than I've ever been. The world is forever changing, and you play a part in it. So fall in love with the idea of not being what people expect you to be. It's your story. So don't let them narrate it for you.
Just love, right?
5,
4, 3,
2, 1.
Hello, NomadLandies and NomadLanders. Welcome to your home. Welcome to my home. Welcome to our home. It's a pleasure and honor to have you with us once again. As for me, we're excited about our new studio. We're shooting our second episode here. I'm in a good place, in a happy place. Just came back from a cosmic consciousness event, and very happy to be here. And I'm going to have Erfan introduce himself too.
Welcome everybody, this is Erfan, and I'm so happy about this episode. Already the Ayahuasca episode was one of my favorite, and now we have a comeback. One of our guests, actually, one of our viewers went to this with our guest.
How you feeling though?
I'm feeling good, man.
You good?
I'm feeling airy. Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna have them introduce themselves. Maestro Fabian, please go ahead.
Hey, my name is Fabian, and I go by Realization Nation.
They already know you.
Hey, good to see everybody
Friend
again.
of the show.
All right, yeah. I know, I've met so many people through here. It's amazing. This is an awesome way of connecting.
Beautiful, and we're
Yeah.
going to talk about that. And Nima, do a small introduction.
We know you. We know you too well. We don't need to hear all that again.
My name is Nima, @_Nima181 on Instagram.
Why did you do that?
He just met a bunch of people, right?
It's different.
Not for me.
Nah.
I know. I'm fucking with
Nima's a
shit.
good friend. Nima's an old friend. We've known him forever. I've taught him a lot of bad things in life.
And good things, more good
Yeah,
things than bad.
Definitely. Nah, I'm just joking.
Yeah, our relationship with Nima goes real back. He's been a brother to us for a very long time. And he's gone through his fair share of ups and downs. And hopefully he's going to come and inspire you guys today with his own personal story. And it's going to be a courageous one. So shout out to him for being willing to come on in front of the mic and speaking about something that's so deep, so personal, something that people probably wouldn't share with the world. And he's willing to do that just for the likes and followers. So
What an introduction. Thank you, guys.
No, he's a loyal brother of the night.
I appreciate it. No, seriously, thank you for the introduction. It was
thank
good.
you. And shout out to Navid, our new producer, our older brother. And we're having some technical difficulties here and there, but we're there. We're getting there.
We're there.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so go. So you mentioned that you met some people through your last episode that you recorded with us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they came to Peru.
But before we get to that, how did you like the episode?
Oh, that was it. That was everything I think I could muster together in that amount of time, which was pretty much everything. I covered everything. I was able to cover
It was a really good
everything
episode.
and get in depth with stuff that I hadn't put the whole story together in a while. I
Yeah.
haven't said it, so it was good to just go from beginning to end and go ahead, like almost hit all these main points that apply to the current.
And you got
Me.
pretty personal.
Yeah. Yeah, it
How
was
do you
cool.
feel about that? Like,
It's interesting because usually that story I hold on to until I meet somebody and we get past certain, I get to meet them and then I tell them the story and they get to understand like why I am who I am.
right.
So to instead just put it out, but it feels good.
No
Nonetheless.
shares, remorse.
Yeah,
You don't feel weird about putting that out there?
Not anymore. It's my story.
I really enjoyed that episode.
It was one of my favorites
One
too.
of my favorites because I joke around a lot, so I'm funny, so I'm not. But usually a lot of guests, they back down or they didn't get it or they don't know what's going on. But I would say Fabian, whatever joke I made, he like made one back right away.
Yeah, he riffed really well. He riffed really well, like as if it's someone we've known for a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
So good job on the chemistry.
Hey, you have known me for a while.
Beautiful. So what are you hoping to capture with this one? I mean, what's the motivation behind you coming to record this episode?
Well, kind of like what you said, that a lot of people had seen that episode and they commented about how they got a lot of information from it, and it just seems good to now come back and almost recap it, share the downloads that came from that last experience, and knowing even more, still invite people to the next one.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What did you learn this time that you didn't maybe download on your previous ones? Was this one any different than the other?
Yeah, they're always different. So one big thing is that I could really just commune with it. You know, it's not like before where I'm doing a lot of work in it. Now it's actually kind of I can really hold that space and navigate in there. And I was kind of telling Nima earlier about I start doing like work on my DNA. Wow. Like I'm in there and with intention, like adjusting, opening, connecting, making, like doing the work inside.
Can you elaborate on that? What does that mean?
So think of, so there was one time I was literally thinking of myself going inside, like a little guy going into the system and like taking files out and taking out stuff that I didn't need anymore.
He would pretty much like work on cells in his body to do what he wants it to do.
Yeah, because
like
I know that's
on one part.
That's a moment that I have, like that everything is so open to programming, so I can, with intention, I can start saying like, okay, my body, my left, that leg that's tighter, you know, loosening up, and because I'm so far removed from body that when I come back into body, I could let go of more of the blockages that are more mental, you could say, than actually physical, that we think is physical, but is actually more of a mental block. Yeah. I can release that. So
that's
when
like
I come back.
real life matrix stuff, but it's internal instead of controlling stuff on the outside, fully internal.
Because ultimately you can adjust a lot of stuff.
So by mental means you're actually experiencing physical outcomes?
Yeah.
Okay. And like you can feel it.
Yeah.
All right.
So another one,
placebo then.
Yeah, this is beyond. I mean, what is placebo? It could be anything. I tell myself, you know. Another one I was telling him was there was one ceremony where I told myself, well, I was like at 2 dials, turning numbers, and it stopped at 33, and that was like the age that I was like, okay, that's good. I'm gonna stay right here. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that trip soon.
Beautiful. What else? What else did you experience? I mean, that's a pretty big thing, to be honest.
That's so now I'm able to go in there and kind of do work.
Okay.
Instead of sometimes being initiation, it could be just a lot of downloading and processing afterwards. You know, like right now everybody's processing. So versus like, okay, being familiar with that that space.
Okay. How's the new tribe?
Oh, amazing!
I see you guys like, or them being so close to each other.
Yeah,
through Nima,
well, I mean, you get to witness it, you know.
Yeah.
And the same thing I get to see like all year, how people evolve and the changes that you see, and the community that builds out of it, and one is that the importance of people building community and coming together like really authentically, and so people get a taste of it for a week. You know, you're diving in deep with people you've never met before, except for also you're in the jungle with them,
suffering with them,
and going through all this, and you get to relate with people.
It almost feels like they're actually one of the reasons they're staying together, besides their experience and the journey and the battle that they went to. It's also them processing what happened.
Yeah,
that's what I'm sensing.
Yeah,
because it's still a processing thing, right?
Yeah, you start to realize
100% what you're saying is true. Like for him, because he's more experienced, you know, for us it's different because we're processing like the stuff you learn at the beginning. You get what I'm saying? Like Fabian said, he's done it, so now he could just work on it. When you first do it, your ego doesn't understand what's happening to you, so it tries to figure out. And when you're in the jungle, you don't really connect the dots. When you come back, all the dots just get connected.
Everything comes together.
Yeah.
And like I told you, like a man travels the world to find what he needs, and he comes back home to find it. That's despite, regardless of ayahuasca or not. Should we get on Nima's story? Like, do you think this would be a good time?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. So again, as far as Nima, I mean, he's very close to both me and Erfan. We love him, even though he's been taking a journey in the dark side for quite some time. He is one of the last few friends that I've had a hard time letting go of, despite whatever he's been dealing with. I'll let him talk about that a little bit more. So what made you go to Peru?
Well, I had a bad addiction for opiates. I got into a situation where I had a lot of money coming to me, and that led me to the material life and the BS life. And that life turns out to always end up as drugs. So I ended up in that position. And
for how long?
Well, it was fun for 2 years, to be honest. It's like
then it doesn't count. Yeah.
No,
No,
but for no, it counts. So for a good 5-6 years, I think I was in and out of the dark side. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's a long time, but it flies by. I didn't even know it was that long.
How
I
long
would
did you think it
stop,
was?
do it again, stop,
Like
do
2-3
it again.
years?
2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was gone for part of it, I guess, too.
Well, when you're on
the
drugs,
fun part, I was in here. I was in Dubai.
when you're on drugs, you live a double life.
Mhm.
There's like people you're sober in front of, and there's people you act like you're sober in front of.
So our friendship was pretty much, I would see him mostly during the times that he was on his clean phase. He wouldn't even come around when he was dealing with the stuff. And I appreciated that to some extent, because he knew that he didn't like that version of himself and the person that he would become, which was a complete different person. But still, whenever he was clean, he would not only stay clean, but he would do a lot of things that I would do with me. I'm talking about all types of yoga, kundalini, and a lot of different stuff we did together. But then a few weeks later, he would kind of go back into his own thing. And you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, before we get into that, I think it's important that we actually give a little background on Nima from our point of view and our circle of friends.
That's right.
So Nima, I met Nima when he was 15 years old, and he's 14, 15, and so bright, so much older than his age, go-getter.
Mhm.
I mean, he just unstoppable. Anything he wanted to do when it came to work and sales, whether it's talking to girls and stuff that you think about that age, he was just like on it, and nothing would stop him. And we always saw he was a golden child. We saw a really bright future for him, and not that isn't here now, but it's just that I never saw you in that position and getting addicted like that because you're so in control, basically.
Extremely powerful person.
Yeah.
Extremely powerful.
Strong will.
Gifted.
Yeah.
Gifted. I still use him in a lot of different examples in terms of somebody that possesses a lot of different types of power. Like when people, the ones that always complain about racism and say, people are this and that. With someone like Nima, he's so powerful that he doesn't even see racism. He could go into a hillbilly bar and he doesn't even experience that, despite the energy that he gets.
Yeah.
He still gives them love, and for some
That's
reason
right.
they love him. And that's very powerful, and that shows you that you can be that person. And mind over matter is a real thing. But also, oftentimes, people that are so strong tend to become the strongest addicts because of that strength.
Yeah, they can become their own biggest enemy. Like, I would always show love, even if I was in the dark side, to everyone around me, but I was self-destructive to myself,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you get stuck in your mind and you stop listening to your heart, but your heart just whispers to you, this isn't you, you know what I mean, don't do this, but your brain's just driving to go pick up the drugs, you know what I mean? Then you get there and do it, and you're like, damn, why did I do it? I shouldn't be doing this.
Right away?
Every
or
day.
No? Like when you come down, you feel that
after
way?
like the first, pretty much like the drugs are like the first hit. The first hit is like everything. After that, it doesn't really. There's no stress around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, right away, right after I would do it, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And I would pretty much be meditating in the dark side because I was doing it by myself. I wasn't doing it with friends. I wasn't doing it socially. I'd literally do it and just be thinking in my head. So now that Mr. Maestro put me in the light, now I could use the dark side as a study guide almost, And I could sense darkness and lightness. I could sense when people were talking, if I feel at least.
All right,
it's
well,
coming from a
let's
dark
get there,
place.
but let's still talk about the darkness a little bit, so for people to understand how bad the addiction really was. I mean, how bad was it, and how much are you willing to share?
I'll just give one story. I was in Vegas with my sister, and she wanted to stay 2 extra days. It was her birthday, and I was obviously on drugs. I ran out of my drugs, and the birthday present I bought from her was the same day that I ran out of my drugs. And we were going to a Boyz II Men concert, and I was withdrawing in Vegas. What the hell should I do? I literally drove, found some guy by CVS, picked him up, drove to a house, got what I needed, came back, did my drugs, and went to the Boyz II Men concert on my sister's fucking birthday.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
that's pretty dark.
Is it harder? Is it like as hard as quitting weed, or is it?
Oh, it's
I'm
not
kidding.
even good.
You know, half baked. He goes to the rehab, and he's like weed head. And the guy's like, you ever suck dick for weed, motherfucker?
No, I didn't get to the sucking dick for the drugs part, but
Good, man.
But you definitely did give your parents a hard
What
time.
you thought about
to
it?
know be able to see and know while you're doing drugs is a lot harder than just being oblivious of life and doing drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it closed. My third eye was closed for 5 to 6 years.
So then you get tired of being sick and tired. I mean, what motivates you to
I just knew, like, I know that's not the life for me. That's not the life for anyone. That's like walking away from life, running away from life. As far as the trip and like going from addiction to deciding to go to the trip, there was a lot of people that my family was supportive. Yogi was there trying to convince me to go on this trip, you know? And Fabian helped me out before. I almost
He
didn't
was-
go on the trip.
he
I
was
almost took
calling
the
me.
$2,500 loss just to stay.
I
you
did.
know?
I did a whole FaceTime with the whole family. I met.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, hey, family."
I kept doing it, and I kept stopping and relapsing. I stopped 11 days before we went. You're supposed to do a diet and everything.
Right.
I didn't do any of that.
wow.
I was just puking, drinking water, and drinking
I
Gatorade.
I think like a comet just coming in, and nothing sound, it's just coming and burning.
you know?
That's crazy.
And they always say, yeah, somebody will relapse when the time is the most important, like before a job interview, before a wedding, before. And
Under pressure.
yeah, and he relapses 9 days before.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was like,
He's not
11,
supposed to
11,
11, where he's
yeah.
not supposed to even smoke a cigarette, and this guy's doing God knows what in the dark
I
alleys.
was like, so much for asking him to go vegan.
Oh, man.
So you relapse, and then what happens?
Like I said, I made it a game time decision. I was going to decide to go the day before.
Yeah,
And my ego was just like totally in control, you know?
Yeah.
100% in control. When I just talked to Fabian, like I'd be like, Fabian, I'm this, I'm that, I don't feel good. He's like, just breathe. You know, that's his reason. You know? And it would actually it's so simple, but it would kind of work, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, he's so calm about it, and it made me more comfortable to just like actually go, you know what I
Okay.
mean? And
so then you get on the plane. Are you tripping on the plane?
Yeah.
What
yeah,
Doubts, anything, or no?
I'm
Oh,
physically
tell him
withdrawing on
how.
the plane.
Tell him how they dropped you off at the airport.
I want to hear this.
Uber just opened the door, dumped him out.
Dude, in the plane, I was just like walking
running.
around the whole time. Like, I went by Fabian.
He went
like
through
5
withdrawal
different
on the
times.
air flight to Peru. That's
Yeah, that's pretty much that was the end of my withdrawal. Like,
and the hike in
yeah,
to
the
the
hike
jungle.
in, oh
Going
my
there.
God.
So what are you
Yeah.
worried about as far as bringing somebody that just?
Somebody
Were you worried
that's-
he's gonna ruin the trip for
basically
everybody?
said-
Like, what's going on in your head?
I'm like, dude, this is the like
As
in
long as he
National,
signs the
you
contract,
know,
I'm
National
good.
Geographic when they show like the lion gets the weak one in the pack.
Yeah.
I was like, he doesn't know that just behind him, something's gonna catch his ass. He's gonna stop for a cigarette break. Boom! Where'd he go? Gone into the jungle. The jungle got him.
You had that funny Tropic Thunder joke.
Yeah. Picture
Jack
that.
Black.
I mean, think of something like
Oh,
that.
maybe Jack Black.
There was girls carrying my bags
Yes,
up the
girls
walk.
carrying
You
his
know,
bag.
like I had no
The
bag. I was
smallest
just
girl.
walking. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was.
Luckily I had them all sign the waiver form for the release.
Release
sure
of
that-
liability.
Yeah, release of
There
liability.
was a point after a ceremony. tarantulas were like in these girls' rooms while they're in the bed, you know. And Fabian's on the ayahuasca, and they come up, Fabian, there's tarantulas. And he just like looks the other way. And it's like, don't worry, they signed the contract.
They signed the release. It's all good.
No, but to be like totally serious, he like helped someone like really change, and she like slipped in the volcanic water, and I don't know, you explained the story, you could say it better.
Oh, that was last time.
Yeah, so it's good for him to have the contracts because he's literally going there changing people's lives. So if like somebody makes a mistake, it can't be his fault. You know what I mean? But we make a joke out of it.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
You're still in the jungle. You know? You're
you
still
have to know where you're going.
in nature.
Tell me, you get on the plane, like, quickly walk me through it. When you get
It's
there,
really hard to do it
go?
quickly, but so we get on the plane and I'm like just walking around. I'm not supposed to be eating meat. I'm getting the steaks, you know, the airplane food. When we
You ate
land,
the airplane?
yeah, I ate the airplane food.
While Fabian had his like,
Yeah,
Oh
whole setup,
man,
you know?
Yeah,
At one point,
the food prep.
This is great. At one
Our
point,
food
I
has
was
been
walking.
blessed.
At one point, I was walking around the airplane tripping out, and then Fabian's just making a necklace, like meditating. He's like, "Yeah, I just do this to meditate and relax." I'm like, "Oh man, it's like 5 more hours left." You know?
I'm just doing
Pilot,
beat.
was it confiscated?
I was
drugs?
I'm making a model necklace on the plane.
So when
No,
we
you don't have to walk me through the meals. I'm saying that you get to the airport. And
when we
Although
land,
that was a
when
good
we
part.
land, you take a like 2-hour off-road drive, like a
Okay.
straight up off-road drive, wet mud, everything. There's like 18-wheelers stuck in the ground, like people out, it becomes traffic. And then we go on a boat. We go on a boat, and we go through the Amazon River, and it's about 30-40 minutes, and then we get to the mountain, and it's like a 30-minute hike up.
Yeah,
If you're withdrawing, it's going to be like 45 to an hour.
Yeah. You know who's really respecting your story right now? Addicts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh,
I was in your shoes, guys. So
you can hike.
by the
it.
time we got there, I was dripping sweat. Like I hadn't worked out so long,
Yeah.
you know. I would work out while I was on it, but 11 days of no eating anything,
Fuck,
you
you
know,
really
just
don't eat,
water.
huh?
Yeah, nothing.
crazy.
Can't sleep. Can't sleep either. So 11 days straight awake, no food, nothing. It's like no gas in your car, you
I did
know.
not die.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Guess
why
I'm
I
after
was
11
that's
days
what I was
without
worried
food.
about. I
You
was
were.
like, this guy gonna make it?
He comes up to me at the airport before they leave with the contracts. I was like, "You didn't say anything about this, bro."
Well, before you step foot on that plane,
He scared me before that. You know?
before you step
It was
foot,
fucking with you.
Yeah.
well, your mom made me make a promise.
So should I get into the ayahuasca?
She's made a lot of people make promises
Yeah.
for you.
Okay,
Hold
now,
on, but
now you get there, yeah.
but before you do that, have you had any experience with people that are dealing with the same type of addiction on that drug?
On past trips, no, not to that degree, but
No, generally in life.
yeah,
You've known people.
yeah,
like
I've known
that.
people.
Okay, so it wasn't anything.
It's not anything new to you.
No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't nothing new, and I was aware of what he's going through. I've seen it and worked with people in it, so and I knew that he was going through it, so he wasn't. I mean, he was coming, so that was
following
it.
through.
Yeah, he's following through. So once he committed, I was like, all right.
And that state of mind is honestly the most.
Yeah, I was
difficult
like,
thing.
that's it. That he's done with the first part.
It just reminded me of this thing I told Fabian because I sent a couple of people to him that were somewhat dealing with Nima's demons, and he's like, this is all good, man, but if you can send me some people that are on the ascending path, that'd be chill too.
Thank you, Fabian. That's my people over
They're
there.
already on the upstroke.
Upstroke.
Oh, man.
What I heard is like, take a look around you. Who do you have around you?
I'll go.
Oh man, the people there are so supportive though. Like
Yeah.
the group is like really like a family now.
Yeah.
You know, like a real family. You know, it's only been a month, and I'm like, we're all letting each other come to each other's houses, sleep there, give them the keys. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it's like a real bond.
So that was on your way to the jungle.
To the jungle.
Okay. So what's going on in your head at that point? Like,
I was having a hard time. They say like when you're there, the energy of the ayahuasca is around you, and my ego.
Were you
was,
like, what did I get myself into?
my ego was still going? You know, I haven't
Yeah.
done ayahuasca yet. My ego was still in control.
Right.
So it was kind of like even thinking like, don't even do it. You know, I took a nap there, and I had a dream that I was on ayahuasca before the first ceremony, because the first day you get there, you do a ceremony right away. So
Now that's a common thing that
What?
people dream of ayahuasca or something creepy or
Yeah,
suspenseful before the.
they get visions and they'll get dreams of it, and that's why people will say that it's calling you. But it's just that you're aligning with something, so it's now in your periphery.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
now
I
it's-
was
It's out there and you're thinking about it constantly.
yeah. Once
so,
it, and then once you've set your vision on it, all of a sudden it starts manifesting, and next thing you know, somebody goes like, "Hey, oh my gosh, my friend's hosting something," and you're like, "Dude, this is like the third time I've heard it." And that's why, like, I even post always on the invite, it says "Answer the call,"
Yeah.
because people go like, "It's been calling me." I'm like,
Smaller
okay,
font.
that's- Yeah.
Yeah, because I actually played it for Nima. Aubrey Marcus talking to Joe Rogan on his podcast, and he said how he dreamed 2 weeks before his trip where he saw this beast saying that you're going to die on this day and stuff like that, and it was very vivid. So he had a similar type of dream before going there. Okay, continue, please.
yeah, so when I woke up, like I was just in the mood like I shouldn't do this.
Yeah.
And
Like, what the fuck? Why I'm in the jungle doing ayahuasca? What the fuck am I doing like that?
there's no plug for the PS4. What's going on? You know?
Yeah, you fucked me.
There's no plug for your charger out there, so be ready.
And really quick, what's he doing this whole time?
When we got there, I don't know.
Him and the shaman smoking Cuban cigars.
Playing FIFA.
Fabian was doing a lot of like self meditation stuff. He was reading books, playing flutes, like just meditating. He was in his zone there.
Nice.
So there was a girl there that does guided meditations, and I just ended up. She was like sitting in the middle of the grass by herself, and I sat on the bench like by her to talk to her because she was by herself.
Right.
But I told her like, "Oh, I'm tripping, this, that," and she kind of like put me in the right place, so I was ready to go. You know, after I talked to her, I was really comfortable with going. And the first night was like the most intense night for me. Like I experienced like the visions, I experienced the ego tripping out, I experienced the love of my family, saw spirits walking around in front of me, angels, demons, everything, shadows everywhere, and your eyes are open. Like you're in a maluka and it's pitch black, but you're seeing like everything in front of you. You know what I mean? And
So
it's
every go ahead.
I think this is the first night of the
This is the
ceremony,
first
which is
night,
ceremony
yeah.
by that.
and I'm
day when they do
delirious. You know
ayahuasca.
what I mean? Like you're supposed
So
to.
forgive me in advance if I stop you
No,
a
no,
lot
no,
during your
please do.
story, because
Please
I know
do.
you went through something
Please
that
do.
people are gonna have a hard time picturing. So we're gonna try to do the best job we can to stop you and kind of have you paint that
I was gonna
picture.
say, like, give some
Yeah.
steps, you know.
I mean, Maury was there and he doesn't even
Yeah.
know what the
the
fuck's going on.
preparation, drinking. I think tell us a little about the preparation and like drinking it in the process, no? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, there's a maluka, and they put mats for you and a pillow with a bucket in front of you.
Yeah.
Okay, the bucket's for puking because you
can you
purge.
explain what a bucket napkin?
Because you purge. Purging is like throwing up, going to the bathroom. You kind of have like pretty much the ayahuasca is taking the bad toxins and stuff out of your body. So you are gonna purge. Most like I was the first one to purge at both ceremonies. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
Yeah, you would've guessed,
we
huh?
go in there for the first
That's our
hour.
Nema.
For the first hour, it's pretty much all of us in there without the shamans meditating and like just getting ready for the shamans to come in. And there's a candle in the middle.
Right.
So the shamans come in and they wait for pretty much the candle to go out almost, you know? Or actually, while the candle's still on, they call each person up one by one, pour them the drink, bless the drink, and then you take the drink in front of them, and then you go back to your spot.
Okay.
It goes in order from whatever side he picks, it goes all the way around.
Right.
Okay?
Puff, puff, pass.
So by the time it's all the way around, we're all just like waiting for the ayahuasca to kick in. The candle will melt all the way. Once it melts, it's pitch black. Then it's about like 30 minutes. They start singing. You know, they start doing this.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
that's right.
Fabian.
They
Help
start-
me out here, brother.
They start singing the Icaros, which are the medicine songs to activate the medicine also.
And how does that go?
And
Die,
they,
die, 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 die.
It's
it's like,
top selling napkin.
well, it's crazy because I've heard DJs now mixing it.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's
so it's these ancient medicine songs, and they sound like frequencies. It's almost like frequencies, you know. And certain people have different frequency, but they're always very almost like it's like a vibration.
Helps you tap into the
And they could guide you down deeper.
Their lyrics are all about the plants, about how they love the plants, how the plants are medicine. All the lyrics are about the plants. And pretty much what
the tribal languages, right?
What they're supposed to do is pretty much make you die and have a rebirth. You know, that's like the.
All right, so you're discussing. If you just tuned in, you're discussing the ayahuasca trip, correct? That ceremony, first night. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
First nights in the jungle of Peru.
Okay, so the first ceremony. At first, I was having a hard time. I was really like not feeling well. When I would open my eyes, I'd see a lot of geometrical visions. I didn't really understand what was happening to me. I got really scared, and then at some point, I felt the energy of my mom come to me, and it kind of relaxed me a little bit. I had a vision where I talked to my mom's brother who passed away in a whirlpool in the ocean when he was 18. That's been like my guardian angel my whole life. I felt like he's always been with me, protecting me. And he pretty much said when he was going down in the water, one of his brothers was watching him do it, and he was about to go try to save him. And he didn't want anyone to come save him because he knew that they would die as well. So he died happily. And I feel like that was a message for my mom, because my mom has always had his picture around. She would like take time out of the week to sit and like watch his videos and cry and like talk to him, you know. So pretty much.
So they would calm you down.
Yeah, a lot. The shaman would calm me down too. Like they would sing, and after they'd sing, I think their singing is supposed to make you like purge and throw up, to be honest with you, you know. But when they would sing at the end, they would like do it like a deep breath. They go like, so then you know, and then you just relax, and then you like lay down, and then they sing again. You're like, oh man, here we go again, you know.
Okay.
It's a lot of ego checking. You know, the first night I didn't really do work on myself because I didn't know how to do work on myself. It was just my ego trying to figure out what's going on. So by the time I was done with the first ceremony, I thought it didn't work on me.
Right.
You know.
And then you go to Fabian and you ask for your money back? How does that work?
He already offered to give me my money back. I told him to keep it.
What is the policy?
There is no policy.
He signed the contract.
The policy is to sign the contract.
We're good.
All right. So the next day, you sleep and you kind of sober up. I don't know.
Oh, so let's jump to before the second ceremony. Before the second ceremony, one of the guys that was there decides to do something called bufo. Can you explain bufo?
Oh, is that the smoke?
One of my friends is there had what's toad medicine, and toad medicine is secretions from a toad from the Sonora Desert, and it's what's called 5-MeO-DMT, and it's a strong hallucinogen, and so he was offering it, and he decided to do it in between the days of the ayahuasca.
No, I did it on the same day as the second day.
Wow.
So someone was really fearful after the first ceremony, and he decided not to do the second ceremony. He ended up doing the third ceremony, but this is why. He takes a hit of the bufo, he lays down, and when he's laying down, he's like trying to fight it. You could see his body trying to like fight against it, you know? And then out of nowhere, it just like releases, you know? You could see, you literally see surrendering right in front of you, you know? And he wakes up and just all gangster. He's like, may what you just saw inspire you to live the lifestyle of your dreams, you know? What? I was like, I gotta do that right now, you know?
Was he an MC?
Huh?
Was he an MC?
Yeah, he does music, actually. Yeah,
so that language resonated with you.
Oh, I was sitting
the urban talk.
I was sitting in his spot before he had even like recovered from the situation to do mine next, you know? And same thing happened to me. Same exact thing. Like, I tried to fight it. My ego was trying to figure out what's happening, you know, besides just like letting it be and being, you know what I mean? And when I woke up, the first thing I said is the source is love. That's the first thing I said.
Through your bufo trip.
Through my bufo trip.
I mean, if you can kind of describe your bufo trip in a paragraph or less, I mean, could you do that?
So pretty much right after it happened.
Team Twitter. No, I'm kidding.
Right after it happened, my intention before I hit it was why don't I feel anymore? You're supposed to make an intention for everything you do. They teach you that there. You know, even if you smoke a cigarette here, make a damn intention for it. I hope this makes me feel good for
Right.
the next hour, you know? So I said my intention. Why don't I feel anymore? I hit it. I laid back, and it was just blast off, like just straight up blast off. And I was fighting it, trying to figure out like what it is, like trying to make sense of everything rather than just like let it happen to me, you know? And again, my mom, dad, and sister's energy like literally came inside me, like it was like they were there with me, you know? And that's when I really surrendered, you know? And the first buffalo trip pretty much taught me that, like, you're not in control of anything, you know? Just live your life, you know, be happy.
So on a spiritual level, you submitted and you accepted something greater than yourself, and
Correct.
and it just made sense.
Correct. And I had never surrendered to any religion, nothing ever in my life.
Sometimes these medicines replicate that, or actually are like that whole breaking process, all like just condensed. You know, it's a instant sensation of going through the steps of, you know, almost dying, then coming to, then feeling humbled, then feeling sad and sorry for yourself, then forgiving yourself, even angry, then eventually you just laugh.
Wow.
Usually people laugh, and you can watch the whole process right in front of you.
You go through all the stages.
Yeah, and people haven't felt that, you know. Yeah, and within a second you go through the deepest plunge of, you know, some people sob, like the deepest sob, you know, those deep sobs. I mean, when's the last time you did that? And so to see somebody go through that, you're like, okay, yeah, they just felt it.
They felt it.
How often do people report that stages, and
Usually
is it in a
on-
certain order, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a basic order of like how things kind of break down, you know, like it's like a near death experience. Usually
But in
people come out
stages.
of it. In stages.
That are similar amongst
From what I put together, that I've seen.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of usually common in watching somebody go through a near-death experience or replicating it through these medicines, that they go through the feeling of, especially people that hold on to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going to go through a big releasing process.
Right.
That's the purging. That's the break. Then they finally just trust and they let go, and you can see the letting go process actually, like physically, seeing the person just like, oh, and they'll collapse. It's like a collapse, you know?
Yeah.
And whether people are holding them up or some, they're just completely give out. And then they're in awe. You can see them, like, their expression just get lit up because all of a sudden they see the light.
But do all of them get to see the light?
Yeah, they all see the light. They're going to see the light, but they also see the shadow, if that's the case. If they have, you know, if you're not prepared. If you're not prepared and you've kind of been making some intention to do this, like start facing this stuff, like, yeah, some of the stuff you have to clean out the big stuff first.
I would say
you're scared. You get scared.
Yeah, you get scared because it's just losing control. But you're not really going to die or nothing, you know? So it's like replicating a near-death experience without having to go through the physical.
Don't let go.
No, then they have to. Well, they do. They get a big break, like initiation. You know, all this is initiation, like including the ayahuasca. But they can forget it kind of quick also, you know? So, I mean, this just shows you a glimpse of like what your highest self can be, or what source is, or what it feels like to be in the body, or to feel connected, or to feel energy, or to understand these other elements. Wow. So that just gives people a glimpse, and all of a sudden they're like, I believe in God, or I believe in something, because they just saw they're standing in front of what's called the divine. They're left standing in complete awe and something so grand that it'll make you, like, you know, come down to your feet and be humbled. Somebody that hasn't been humbled. That's always a good lesson. You know, I always go for that one. Even I'm like, humble me, and I'm like, oh shit, there's still some ego there. And,
still,
you know,
after all the time,
after all the stuff you do, you're still, you know, and that's what nature teaches you. Like, you know, you become very small down to like a mosquito could take you out there.
And that's pretty much through ayahuasca.
Do you decide if someone needs to do more ceremonies and who's had enough, or does everybody get the same amount? What's that number?
Well, we have 3 ceremonies, and I've noticed a lot of times people will, after that first ceremony, it's initiation, it's so much to process that they'll actually back off and be like, I'm done. You know, I'm done with it. And and so I explained to him, well, you don't want to leave the experience with that note. You don't want to feel like something scared you off for the first time. Go in and experience it again, at least, give it another chance. And then usually the experience is different and you learned a little bit more.
Yeah.
You learned how to not get tossed. You learn how to ground. Everybody learns how to ground themselves in you could say in a spirit realm, in a realm where all this is open, you learn how to ground. So that's a good example of how to do it when you're here, and and becoming a believer of it, seeing that there is more than what meets the eye here. There's a whole nother world within worlds here, and being in the jungle, you get to see that too, especially being off the grid.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your shaman a little bit. And last week we talked about with Bryce about what makes a good shaman. I mean, what makes this guy someone that you could put so much? And you talked about it on the last episode, but if you could kind of.
I've sat with a couple different shamans and different styles and backgrounds and who they've learned from.
Right.
And this gentleman works with his wife, so there's a masculine and a feminine balance that is like really good, because I've also sat with just a masculine, and it's just a very it could be like an ancient regimented practice.
It's very linear.
Which is also cool when you want to learn something very it's the rules and
right,
something different. But this was, they both sang, and they both he could kind of take you for a deep dive, and she would kind of soothe it out. And her voice was, when I heard her voice, I was like, whoa, I just want to hear that.
She has such a good voice. But
I wanted to
like
keep hearing it
pain
more.
in her voice, but it's like calming. There's so much pain in her voice.
How did you feel about the shamans?
I liked them. I liked them a lot. The guy was very cool. There was like a doctor shaman that if anybody was sick, he would go pick specific plants from certain trees and make them tea.
One of the guys told me about something about you taking a cigarette from him.
Oh, okay. So there's a point where, like, at the end, there's something called the mapacho. Can you explain the right way of explaining a mapacho?
The mapacho, it's their sacred tobacco. So it's the authentic tobacco, and it's really tastes really good actually, and they use it. Yeah, they use it for blessing, and it's a
Bryce was here. We had an interview with him recently. He gave me one. I smoked one.
Okay, yeah.
How'd you like it?
It was good, but it was like strong. You can't. Yeah. I'm used to smoking cigarettes. It's different. You can't like inhale it. No filter.
Actually, I was inhaling them.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys too. Right here.
Nice.
Actually, I was inhaling them, and my throat was like totally chill compared to like smoking cigarettes, because I would smoke cigarettes before I went,
You got lighter?
But yeah, so the shaman, they come and they light a mapacho and they bless you with it. I had a pack of 100 mapachos laying right by me, So he comes up to me and he says mapacho, and I think he's asking me for one. I'm like, yeah, like in the middle of like the whole ceremony, everybody's like puking, it's going down. I grab a pack of 100 mapachos over here, and he's like, no, he was gonna bless me with one, but he was cool because he took out one of my own mapachos, blessed it, and lit it, and gave me my own one.
How does he bless it?
They blow on it. How do they bless it?
Yeah, they usually blow kind of like a song into it. Like,
yeah. Usually,
like talking into
I'm
it.
a rookie in this stuff, man. This is all new to me.
It's like putting intention into it. It's like praying over your food or something. You're activating it. You're putting intention into it. So even a cigarette out there, they're like sit there and they're like,
it's giving it that good vibration.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it more that way.
Blow on it. But so tell me the second night. He's going through it now.
So the second ceremony,
before I get off subject,
my ego is telling me that I was healed and I was good to go.
Are you more in control now because you've experienced it once? You're like, okay, this isn't so bad. Or no, it's just like oh, what the fuck? I'm on a roller coaster.
Well, the second ceremony, like the first ayahuasca, the first ceremony that I did, I didn't know what was happening to me, So it felt like nothing happened when I was there, So by the time the second ceremony happened, I thought that I didn't need it. So one of the guys that came, Maury, he decided not to do the second ceremony. And I decided not to do it with him right before. Like, they're all in the Maluka waiting, and right before I was like, all right, I'll just chill with you, you know?
And what is that, fear?
I think it had a lot to do with, you know how I'm always need to be with a friend? You know what I mean? Always need to, like, try to make someone else happy. Or codependent. Yeah, I think that's what it really was. So Maury opens a random page from the Rumi book. And like I said, there's like a candle, everything, you know? And the Rumi book says this. With us, even if you're not as... Sorry.
That's not hot what you just did right now.
I know, it's my phone. So the Rumi book says, with us, even if you're not a seeker, still fall. Persian translation. Damn, my phone's tripping.
It is. It's
Here, give me your phone.
is like blowing up and.
It'd be amazing if I knew that specific like shit. Like, oh yeah, that's the one.
All right, here. So it says, with us, even if you're not a seeker, still follow us. Keep searching with us. Even if you don't know how to play and sing, you'll become like us. With us, you'll start singing and dancing. Even if you are Karun, I don't know what that means, the richest of kings, when you fall in love, you'll become a beggar. Though you are a sultan, like us, you'll become a slave. One candle of this gathering is worth 100 candles. Its light is as great. Either you are alive or dead. You'll come back to life with us.
It's dope verse, bro. Dope verse.
He just opens a random page, and that's what it says. He's like, bro, I wasn't going to go, but look.
But
I was like,
now
let's
what?
go. We both just walk into the Maluka and do it.
Yeah.
And the second ceremony was like pure bliss for me, dude. It was
Nice.
like pure happiness.
Wow.
Like, the
Really,
whole
the
way.
whole time? It
Yeah,
wasn't
ask
like,
him.
No,
Me
no
and-
bad. Wow.
Nothing bad. Like, me and him were laughing the whole time,
That's
you know?
amazing.
And he's on the other side going through. He's like, shh, you know? And we just keep laughing. And then our
You're
laugh.
like he's bad in pain and he's bad in happiness.
There's so many people going through it, and like we're just laughing, and then our laugh transferred to someone else. Someone started laughing from the other side and make us laugh harder. It was
Because I heard it's a thing. I heard the energy transfers one by one in the Maluka. Is that like in a circular
people
motion?
see the same thing.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, everybody's tapped into like a higher energy source. So think, imagine like microwaves in midair that you could catch, the radio waves. Like we're all tapped into the grid, and we're tapped into like a higher source, so we can all tap into the same information. Also,
It's like all stepping into the same realm together. You know what I mean? It's a different realm, but you're all seeing it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's
Protector of
fascinating.
the realm.
different people interpret it differently, but you get a sense that we're in this different realm together.
I just love the story that you shared because generally I thought, oh, there's no way you could have not a good time, but I just thought just like fear and like tripping out and the fucking.
Oh no, it turns into like laughter and like fun. Like a lot of times it turns into. I've had full on like laugh attacks. Like,
You rid of the negativity,
and that becomes like a purge.
positive, happy thoughts.
That's like a purge. Like people just start laughing and they'll like lose control. I don't know what that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Good
beautiful. So, just give me really quick. Like, what did you see something that like was making you smile?
It was just like pure good. There's girls that will do that and have like their body cells are having sex like, while they're on it. They have orgasms. Like it was like so it could take you so many different
He had an
places.
orgasm.
There's people that'll go do ayahuasca and like try to
He's
meditate.
gonna have like 100 girls ending up for the next trip.
There's people that will like
Fabian likes it.
they'll go do ayahuasca and they'll try to meditate to the dark side. You get what I'm saying? That's-
Sorry, girls are like the girls like an hour into it. Am I gonna come in? When am I coming? Come on, you promised. All right, I'll just do it myself.
They signed the waiver. They signed the waiver.
Just like I just do it myself. Fuck.
They signed the waiver.
What a life, though, man. Go to another country, make money, find God, and take a bunch of beautiful women.
Yeah. Open up your third eye.
Jesus Christ. I
Open
want
up
it.
your fourth eye.
No,
Maybe
I'll
it's
bring
gonna-
it back.
maybe
Bring
it's
it
gonna
back.
be like, is there editing on this show? Take
Yeah.
that one.
Jesus.
All right, go ahead.
That's the life. Okay,
Where
go.
were we?
Um,
Keep it light. Keep it light.
Okay, so the girls were having orgasms.
No, like it could take people different places, and then once you could actually control it, you know, you could look for whatever you want. You could try to change whatever you want. You get what I'm saying?
Control the direction of where
your thoughts control your mind, because like the first time is always surrendering. You have to always surrender no matter what. You know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, to be able to work on yourself. You know.
Okay.
So, you know, as time goes by, as you have another experience, you'll be able to work on all different types of things. You know what I mean? So if you go make a study guide of what you want to work on, you know, and you'll be able to work on it there by the second or third ceremony, right? Sometimes, yeah, unless you get that third drink, you know.
Or it just goes into deeper stuff of what you thought you were trying to learn. It shows you like something even deeper underlying, you know, something that you didn't see. That's pretty common also. I see people go like, whoa, that was not what I was planning on, but I learned something new. So
Beautiful.
All
right.
So the third ceremony, Fabian pretty much said, like, he said, if you think you don't have to do it, don't do it. Or that means you do have to do it. I apologize. If you think you don't have to do it anymore, that means you do have to do it.
Well, what'd you come out here for?
And the third ceremony, I had like a own like issue because
that's a big statement though. It's so much into that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, a lot of times is like people will be like
of cocaine actually, but
do it.
exactly.
let's finish it before we sleep.
Oh yeah, I'm good. Then a lot of times people will feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll pull away with saying, you know, I got it. Or that they've, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it for quite a while, and still, I'm always learning something new.
Yeah.
And so, but that's the ego part. It'll totally convince you into saying like, no, that's good enough. Versus, I mean, you know, you're gonna be safe. It's just you get to really observe your workings in there, and you compare them. And you're like, okay, why the fear? Why
ego and fear? The combination of that.
Usually, fear is based in a lot of stuff. That's gonna be.
All right. Cool.
All right.
So he said
so the third ceremony, he said if you think you don't have to do it,
you definitely
that
should.
means you should. I was in the total opposite side. Like I was gonna do it again to have fun and like all that stuff, and it reminded me of like going to do drugs for fun. You get what I'm saying? I didn't have an intention for the third one. I felt like a lot had happened, you know, like so. Ultimately, like the third ceremony was learning to say no for me. You know what I mean? Because they even like we had a conversation. Like it's not cool to laugh and stuff like that while people are going through what they're going through in there. You know?
Oh, there was a talk.
Oh, the day after, you integrate every day after each ceremony. So we all sit in a group. You know, we integrate and we finish it with
Yeah, we all just share our stories. Oh, each story.
Yeah,
the native Indian aho.
Yeah.
So, and then Fabian was like, I'm not trying to point any fingers, but you can't be laughing.
No, it was more like everyone around. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, a lot of times there's, I'll remind people like, hey, remember, like when they're singing or something, try to respect what's going on, or don't go outside and just go smoke a cigarette and not come back in. You know, some people will leave a circle and not come back. Like you have to close the circle, you know, especially if you walk away and you didn't close the circle, you know, you feel unfinished after you've been doing something. So with something with so much intention, somebody else is hosting, somebody that's
Now, didn't you already explain that to them before?
Yeah.
And
So I always tell
listen?
people, well, you get comfortable in the whole process. You know, all of a sudden you feel very open and you want to talk and I want to talk to you about my experience.
We couldn't control it. We were gonna laugh no matter what.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like ha ha ha, we're laughing. You know, we were just like he'd look at me and I look at him. We just started laughing. You know, it was weird. Nothing being said. You know, just energy transfer. What are we laughing at? You know what I mean? It's like it was.
By the way, when Nima says him, he's referring to Morteza Mori, who actually watched the podcast and he got interested. We're on this trip and they met on this trip. They didn't know each other before.
And it's crazy because Erfan to Morteza is like Tupac to me, you know?
Yeah,
and what are the chances of somebody coming on a show and being able to meet that person, you know, later on, and he's here with us chilling.
Well,
right
I'd say
now,
there
you
isn't
know?
much chances, but he had a flight this morning that he probably didn't purchase to come to the show. He may not admit to that, but that's what I'm going with.
Well, I would do that for Tupac too.
Hey, you keep saying they wouldn't do it for me, bro.
Of course.
Hey, what about me?
But so there's some stuff I really want to say, and then you guys could just like stop talking to me if you guys want. This is just stuff that I want people to know. It's 3 things, okay? So
you're not gonna sing a poem or anything.
No, I'm not. I'll do it as fast as I can. Okay, I learned that if you go against what you love, if you go against what you love, you're going to have a hard time no matter what, even if you're the richest person in the world.
Amen.
That's the first one.
Through that.
True.
That's the first one. The second one is my brain was in control of me. I wouldn't even listen to my heart, as if my brain had...
Hold on, slow down a little bit, man.
Okay, I thought I was trying to do
like
it fast.
a spoken words thing.
Okay, so this is the second one. Sorry, I don't want to just ramble on, you know what I mean? So the second one is my brain was in control of me. I wouldn't even listen to my heart, as if my brain had convinced me not to trust my heart. So there I learned that my brain is like a tool. Just like you need a hand to grab a cup, you need your brain to analyze what your eyes see, not your third eye. So now I've just been listening to my heart, and I sense my brain adjusting to that. And I learned how to separate them. Well, I'm still learning, but I learned how to separate them. That's the second thing. The third thing is it just expands your mind to just know and understand. Most people say, okay, today I'm going to go to the gym, and they don't. They don't know the negative effects that puts in their mind subconsciously. So the Aya just makes it easy to do everything. It's not hard. It doesn't become a task. The simplicity turns into beauty. You all can put the bullshit in silent mode and just live a beautiful life, you know, with simplicity, you know. That's what it did for me, ultimately. Those are my main bullet points that I try to tell everyone, you know, just so they know how strong and powerful it is. At first, I thought the Bufo was stronger, but the Ayahuasca has connected. It's just every day connecting dots. It's been 3 weeks since we're back. Yeah. We're all like I'll be looking at the clouds and someone will message me, you know, like, wow, the clouds look amazing today. One of the people we're all in the same energy right now, like trying to rise together, helping each other, integrating with each other, talking with each other. So I just wanted to say that. I think
it's beautiful.
Cool,
Thank you for sharing. But let's keep it a buck, right? So you go through all that,
right,
and then you see things that you've never seen before. You felt things that you've never felt before. So now you're basically in this higher state of consciousness. And it's very important, and we've kind of discussed this, but we want to discuss it with everybody, you know, just to be very real with anybody. So you come back, and now you're meditating, you're hanging out with Fabian a lot, we're kicking it a lot, you're doing a lot of yoga, meditation, and you're just in the higher place. You come back, and you're trying to help your father's business and take it to another level. But now all of a sudden, you're thinking about going to Europe with Erfan to party.
Not to party. No.
Now, as far as I remember, every single time you relapsed, before relapsing, you were always partying.
Right.
Through alcohol, through low-frequency women.
Make me the bad guy.
Right. No, he said to keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck.
So what makes you think, because to me, and I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with you, you know, right, I'm not a therapist, right? I'm not your friend.
Right.
And I don't see any difference between this move than all the other moves that you made prior to relapsing.
Right.
You know, we work so hard to build momentum, raise our vibrations to a certain frequency and stay there and work hard. And for you, you haven't really been putting that type of work, but ayahuasca gave you this.
Right.
So now you can easily lose that.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want to say I fear, because that's fear, but it's a concern.
I have no concerns of going there. I'm actually going with a lot of reminders. I keep these necklaces on. I keep these on. These are reminders for me. I asked Fabian to borrow his flute when I go. I asked Erfan if he wants to meditate with me, because I'm going to be meditating there. He said he's going to do that. I talked to you. At first, I was going to drink there, but I'm not going to be drinking there anymore. I'm going to just enjoy it my way, with a good friend that I have. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to make the best out of it my way. Yeah, I will be tested there 100%, but we'll see if I could last the test. You know, I like the test. I like I like the difficulty of it because I know I will be tested.
Well, I hope you are ready, man. Because, like, I want to say it like this. Like, 3 weeks ago, I go to him, and I'm like, dude, I can't even listen to rap music anymore. It just has this certain energy that really messes me up. It's weird. It's hard to explain. It just doesn't sound pure. It sounds like it puts me in a low vibrational place.
Right.
And, he's like, you're being weak, man. That's that pussy talk.
Music affects you?
You're so weak. It's mind over matter, bro. Now, he comes back. He's not listening to any hip-hop himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't even curse. Like, even, like, he doesn't even say shit, which is crazy. Yeah. And it'll be a shame to lose that. But, I mean, if you lose it, that's just probably part of your lesson. And I'm not going to try to hold on to that as someone that loves you.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm bringing this up on air for it to be maybe a little bit more sense of accountability, maybe. Yeah, I'm doing 100%. My best as a friend to do what I can.
No, it's good.
And it's a desperate attempt to get your friend to stay straight and maybe even put something on you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely dedicated to make sure that watch over you. I need someone to watch over me. But in your case, I'm gonna be tough on you. You know what I mean? I make sure, like, under no circumstance.
I don't think the whole trip I'll put you in a position where you'll have to worry.
Okay.
Well, are you gonna follow? Should you follow them with a camera? Undercover cameras.
I think maybe I don't know. If you think you shouldn't drink, don't drink. But if you think like you could just drink.
We may need a follow show after this one, a third installment of what happened.
I know. I fucked up, man.
But I was gonna say I was worried about him, and I was worried about this other friend that I sent with Fabian. So as soon as they don't have reception or Wi-Fi for like 10 days or so, and then as soon as I guess they get back to Lima, I noticed that he's posting something. I'm like, dude, I know you're busy. I don't want to take too much of your time. Just tell me, is Nima and the other friend okay? Because I sent them out. What if they lost their mind? And what did you say?
What did I say?
You're like, yeah, man. I mean, they were okay. They found God. They've seen the beauty and everything. But right now, they just left to go to KFC and McDonald's to grab some.
So that's a really good story, actually. We get back.
True story.
So he's like, so I really don't know.
I really don't know.
We get to the airport. Me and Cena are starving. It's been vegetarian food. I didn't eat for 11 days before there. The food was like rice and vegetables. By the 6th or 7th day, I was like force feeding myself.
Yeah.
So we get back, and then we go. He goes to McDonald's to order for both of us, and I go to KFC to order for both of us. Like $50 of food,
Wow.
And within 3 to 5 minutes,
I didn't know it was $50 worth.
Within 3 to 5 minutes, man, we threw the whole food away. We both got sick. Morton's had to buy me tea. I couldn't even get up to buy tea. So now I've been vegan. I cheat vegetarian a lot, but today I decided not to even do vegetarian. Just go straight vegan for almost 30 days.
So do you think that's a physical reaction? Is it a mental reaction?
That's the ayahuasca, 100%.
It's something in your consciousness.
You just want to become vegetarian.
That says flesh is bad, animal. What is that?
It all happened to me. At first it was health, and then it became the animals, and then it became like the wisdom of it. It's just like it's all happening to me. A lot of the animal thing is from him, from Maury, because he's been vegan for 3.5 years. Yeah, and I was hanging out with him a lot. Right away when we got back, we went to Napa together. But now if I walk in Ralph's, Yogi, if I walk in Ralph's and I'm in the meat section, it just feels like flesh, murder.
Yeah.
He said a story like about the barbecue. You put the piece on the barbecue while you're on shrooms, and then you open the barbecue, and it's just like death in front of him.
That's interesting.
That was how I stopped eating chicken. Was I ate mushrooms, and then I tried to barbecue a bunch of chicken, and I just opened it and looked at it. I'm like, oh my god, it looks just dead.
Yeah.
And I was poking it, and I told somebody, I'm like, hey, does this look dead to you? They're like, dude, that looks like dead flesh.
Yeah. That's what it is. We just get used to it.
That is what it is.
So you've become a big vegan lifestyle advocate, and what I have? Feminism by way of veganism is the thing that you talk about. Now, my question is that to attract to get more female? What is that like?
Oh, what is it? Okay, here's what it means.
Girls like, what is it?
Girls like, or
they like it? Yeah. I mean, feminism by way of veganism.
No, what I mean is, somebody that's a true feminist would also respect the feminine within everything.
Correct.
Within the animal kingdom, within, mainly the animal kingdom, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So to stand for something so strongly, but then neglect something else, another sentient being, seems to go against it. Seems hypocritical to me. This is my observation. So when somebody says feminism, it should include that's just feminine, not woman. Woman would be
Correct.
a human or so. So to say feminism, I would say like, oh my gosh, that's like a cow and its calf, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's what that. and it rings with some people, and some people it doesn't. Some people.
And it should resonate with all of us, but there's levels to it.
Yeah, there's levels to this.
It's beautiful that you're already there, And it attracts so much beauty when you're in that state of mind, obviously.
It just makes things more
literally.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Good
And
stuff.
physically.
Yes. Yes. All right, so we covered that.
Can I ask something about the shamans?
Yeah, that's good,
Yeah.
actually.
So these shamans, are they... I was wondering, are they all like really...
I don't even know why I'm laughing.
Yes.
I just know, I sense the energy.
No, are these people that really, all of them like spiritual, third eye open, or some of them just fall into this job, like we get paid?
No, what's interesting is
Good
like
question.
this is just the way they are, So like I say, they're plant people. They're very mellow. They, I was even thinking one day, I'm like, well, what are their stressors here? Like what? Like the chicken died or ran away, or weather, or their crop, or. I was like, they don't have big stressors like we've given ourselves. So to them, everything's very simple. We could talk about ayahuasca and like what the effects and what it does. To them, they're like, makes you strong, fuerte. They'll say that, and you're like, all right, that's what it means. Like they don't need a lot of description and a lot of their stuff. Their food, simple. And after a while, it tastes really good. So we're eating a lot of it.
So are they respected in a different way in the by people? Do they look at him as gurus? Like
they know, like the maestro, he knows all these plants, like communed with these plants. Their children know. Like the last ceremony, she brought in her son, and he must have been like 7 or something, and he just sat with them, like in the dark, hearing people purging, and know that they're doing a ceremony. Like
they have a teacher vibe,
Okay.
Is everybody in the tribe?
I didn't even understand what they said, and it felt like they were like teacher,
Yeah.
Does everybody in the tribe, even everybody do ayahuasca there? Is that very common or not necessarily?
Probably everybody's done it at some point. A lot of people are doing healing work. Some of the people that are like kitchen workers or volunteers that are there for trauma or something, and so they're going through healing of trying to undo.
And they start
fears.
Young, like the kids. Like I'm saying, the locals who live there.
Even some of the
like
locals
families.
have done their kids young, so they know the other side also before they just get stuck on this. They just think this is it,
And last question: are they all vegan or not?
No.
Because you mentioned that.
Yeah, no, out there, no, because they catch fish,
Eat eggs.
they eat eggs.
So it's fascinating. So it
Yeah.
has to do something with the way they get, because like you said, you open it, you see the chicken there. It's just because we go to a flesh market and buy flesh.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a different connection that they have with
It's a
the
different
earth
connection.
around them and how they catch it. That they
Yeah.
could have it.
If they're only getting whatever they need. Over here, we've got factory farms just already making more than what we need, and making us almost want more.
For example, there the watermelons still have black seeds in them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over here,
I love
you
the
can't
seeds,
find
actually.
a watermelon
I do. I
with
like the
black
seeds.
seeds.
I miss the seeds, man. I miss the seeds.
Aren't you surprised at Dan? Yeah.
So I didn't catch the part. At what age do they start doing ayahuasca there?
Depending if they're grooming a kid to be a shaman or a plant medicine doctor, they start them early, like 14, 13. Like he was like at 13. He got somebody just like said, oh, this kid has it. And they start grooming him and having him learn about plants. And I mean, we walked around. So on the trip we take, he's like, no, you're gonna learn plants.
That was a good one. I like that.
And he ends up taking us around to show us, like, and they know the names of all these plants everywhere. Like,
wow,
it's like pets. You could say almost like, it's like beings to them. They're talking about, oh, this one's really good. This one's a friendly one. This gives you these visions in your dreams. This one over here does this, and
the plants.
Yeah, different. They drink from different trees and different plants. Medicine. Some are psychotropic. Some are just healing. Have healing properties. But
Fascinating.
they've got everything there.
In the last episode, you mentioned that you have a daughter. Do you talk to her about your experiences?
Yeah, so I tell her about when I go, and she's like, "What do you do out there?" And I mean, I described it. I told her whenever she's ready to come, she's welcome to come. Yeah, and so she understands what I do.
She does.
Yeah,
and she's interested, fascinated by it, or she's like, she thinks you're weird. How does that work?
No, it's in her. You know, I can see. So now it's her journey.
Yeah.
Now it's her journey to get there. You know, to remember basically. Luckily, I get to show her stuff. You know, there's another side.
Yeah.
Fabian's really good at that. He doesn't pressure anyone while they're there. He lets them experience their own experience, go through what they're going through. If they need something, let them come to him. You know what I mean? He doesn't push you or anything while you're there. You really get to like go through your own thing, you know. And it's just a jungle and hammocks, you know. Realistically,
So I almost forgot that. I had a question about that. So let's say someone says, "I don't want to do it," lightly. Do you kind of persuade them a little bit? Come on, give it a try.
No, I just
you back off immediately.
I just give them the other side of the perspective that they're not coming from.
Okay.
You know, or I just reflect what they're saying so they can hear themselves also. Sometimes all you gotta do is just like reflect and be present there, and then all of a sudden they hear themselves and they're like, okay, yeah, man, well, all right, I'll give it a try.
So what do you say to people that have heard horror stories? Because things happen, obviously, you know, in anything. But there's been stories where people have even, you know, some bad things have happened. And they come to you with that and like, well, this could happen. What do you say to them?
Some part of it is that I've been here several times now, so I've established a good connection with them. It's a husband and wife and family there, so it's very family oriented. There's a difference between going to like, let's say Iquitos, which is like a big tourist central, and just going there and there's people on the streets like, hey, come do ayahuasca over here, or just looking up somewhere and getting referred. So that's what people do.
Wow.
And you go there and it's like all over the place because they know it's popular tourists. They come and there's signs, you know, ayahuasca retreats and tourists this way. So they take you somewhere, and at that point, that could be very like a business, you know. So they're trying to turn people quick, and then at that point things get watered down, other medicines, and that's when you didn't do research and just showed up somewhere and
hit you with some bufo and take your wallet and
boom. So don't do that, you know. It's better that you get to hear somebody's story. You get to hear this stuff, you know. So me sharing the story, somebody goes like, whoa, okay, that sounds like something I'd want to do. Yeah. You know, versus, I don't know, seeing it in an ad.
Know who you go to. And I saw a picture you posted or it was your story, where even in the airport there were these pictures of people
doing ceremonies.
Doing ceremonies, plant medicine in the airport. So they're very open, the Peruvians, to that culture.
But to them, that like to us, we have the perspective of that being something like whoa. To them, that's like, I don't know, like, you know, Persians. Do you guys smoke hookahs?
What's up?
Do you guys smoke
hookahs?
Hold on,
why would you split on? What?
Are you being racist right now after all this conscious talk, bro?
What's next? Where'd you park your camel outside?
Okay, but let's say this. Like, but let's say this. People will see that, and to them, it's like totally a different culture thing, you know? To certain cultures, that's just a normal thing. That's just a normal thing. Exactly. To the same thing to us. To them, they're like, "What are you talking about?"
It's not exotic.
They goes, it's not. It loses that, and so they've always said it's not a drug. Like to us, it's medicine. Like it's literally medicine to them. So it's our thought process that kind of hits it.
Oh, you said that last time that they said that you guys call your drugs medicines and your medicines drugs. You know? Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, so that's perspective. You know, so so the kids know about it. I mean, you could probably have a conversation with a kid and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was seeing this and seeing spirits."
So with the addicts, I don't know if you said Nima was the first one, or if you had other addicts that you've dealt with on trips before. I want to hear from both of you guys. So do you think it's a mental thing, or it gets rid of the physical, detoxes your body too, or a little bit of both?
Both.
Huh?
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a process that it includes the physical aspect. So there is some getting ready for it. You know, you can't. That would be the only thing, is if you're not going to do any work before it, then I would say not to go, because you don't want to have a psychotic breakout over there. You know, so doing some of the work first before going. They sign the contract.
That's why I had to do extra medicine.
And extra contracts with you, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, man.
Just kick him off the cliff. This guy was annoying as fuck. He signed the contract. Okay.
He signed it. But it's as long as that, you know, the people are doing work, but it in regards to the physical, like you're getting food served to you, so now you got to eat with that only what's there in front of you. So you are in a controlled environment, so that's a benefit. You know, it's like you're gonna wake up and the rooster starts going off, super loud. You know, it's like now you're on jungle time, so you're changing. Like you're throwing a wrench in the whole system. You know, so I mean, it's a good place to recover.
Dude, they were so cool because after every ceremony, I would go destroy their kitchen. Like, I would make, like, 20 eggs, you know, all this stuff. And rather than them not having food there the day after, they'd, like, refill everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have it ready for us when we're, like...
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and then, in general, they don't have any shortage of food. They're like,
No, they
comfortable
got
themselves.
Yeah, they've got
they're
plenty
not
for us.
starving,
Yeah.
but- Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we're well fed.
Nima, what do you have to say to people that I mean, what do you have to say for people? Do you recommend it? Do you suggest
Absolutely, 100%. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life at the worst time of my life. You learn that you're not in control. You learn that when you think you're okay, you're really not. You learn that when you think you're comfortable, you're really not. There's so many advantages. It's like a cheat code to life almost. But definitely don't fight against like what's supposed to be, because no matter what the subject is, if you fight against what's supposed to be, you're gonna have a hard time, you know. And it kind of like opens a certain part of your brain where it's just like, all right, I know now, you know. And it's like, it's hard to go against it, because it's like, my final answer was, life is so simple and so beautiful, we make it hard for ourselves for no reason, you know. And then we get stuck in that, and then we get lost in it. This kind of like resets you a little bit, you know. And it's pretty much it, you know. It's really.
Do you recommend Erfan taking it?
I think if Erfan does ayahuasca, he will write some of the best music he's ever wrote while he's there, you know. And then when he comes back, he'll still have all that, you know, and he'll be connecting the dots here, and it'll just. I told him it'll put him in another realm of words,
and still
you know?
selling luxury real estate.
Maybe I'll go make homes for the tribes, but
You know,
I think
he will be able to actually do everything.
I see it. I think I would go far beyond that, just writing on myself. I think, like, you know, I think I have a bigger effect on my life.
Yeah, 100%. And like I told him, he's so busy, you know what I mean? So there's times where he'll get tired. I don't think those times he'll be in the dark anymore. Like when he's tired or he's at home or like just waking up, I think, like, or jet lagged, you know what I mean? He'll be able to understand the whole situation, just be able to be like relaxed and like.
I hear you.
You know,
and I believe that too.
Did you decide on that haircut before your third eye opened? Or?
actually, my dad cut it. He doesn't even cut hair, and
I'm
it just
joking.
turned out like this.
And his dad's
I like
and his dad's a
Get
mechanic.
it out so we can end the show on the important matter.
I like it. Okay, so the
Yes.
next journey to Peru will be July 23rd to the 31st of 2018. All the information is up on realizationnation.com. I put up a payment plan also for people, and early bird right now ends April 22nd. So log on, check it out. It's definitely worth everything. And you can contact me through there. So if any questions, just send me a message.
All right.
So I just want to take the time again. Thank you for listening to us. Appreciate you, and tell you that we do love you, and it's such a blessing to be in your homes, in your cars, and let us know how we can improve the show. I guess this is episode 14, 15, and we've made some changes. We had some growth. I mean, thanks to Fabian coming on the show, Nima has been affected, and now Mortaza's here from Frisco. He watched the show and met the. So, I mean, that's the goal, that's the intention, and I guess this is what we're honored to be doing in one way or another. So thank you for that, and I love you. That's all.
Love you too. I'm looking forward to this trip. We gotta make sure it be good. Next time we come on, be like, that's the trip that I
Please
repassed.
don't even worry
died,
about
you know?
it. Seriously, don't even worry about it.
I'm not worried about it, man.
Let
I
me-
look forward to it. And Fabian, thanks again. Thanks for sharing with us. It was a great episode.
Guys. Answer the call.
Definitely. Morteza, thanks for being in the
July
studio.
23rd.
July 23rd. Remember that date. July 23rd.
July
Yeah,
23rd.
cool.
Right around the
Answer
corner.
call.
You can use our
Yeah.
code for discount.
Sign the contract. Okay. Thank you guys.
Subscribe. Nomad's out.
So subscribe.
Out. Nomad out.